Maybe one day the movie will actually be better than the book. That day is just yet to come. So, like most other people, over this weekend, I went to go see the Hunger Games, and now I'm going to give my review of it. Now, the Hunger Games takes place in the future, and basically, everything's just kind of disgruntled. Uh, they're split up into 12 districts, and each year they have this thing called the Reaping, and that's where they choose two kids from each district to compete in this thing called the Hunger Games. And the Hunger Games is basically where these kids fight to the death, and then the winner is the winner, and 23 other kids die. So in the movie, there's this girl Katniss, and her sister Prim is chosen for the Hunger Games, and she takes her place in the Hunger Games. Like as you saw in the trailer, she says, "I volunteer, I volunteer," and so it's pretty much her experience. There was a lot of things I liked about the Hunger Games. I'm a huge fan of the series. If you saw my video about why I'm excited, you could tell I know a lot about these books. I really like them. A lot of people like them. And I was really looking forward to this movie. It's one of my hype movies of 2012. And here's what I thought of it. It's actually a very good movie. It's nothing superb, but it's a movie that I really enjoyed watching. And like I said, it's not as good as the book, but what movie adaptation really is. Now, first off, I'm going to talk about Gary Ross, who's the guy that directed this movie. He directed such things as Pleasantville and Seabiscuit, two movies in which I really loved. And I think a lot of people forget how well Pleasantville was directed, along with Seabiscuit, but Pleasantville especially. And he also wrote a lot of great scripts to Big and Dave, two movies that are really great. And he does an awesome job with this movie. And although there are some little things here and there that I wouldn't have done, I still give him some good credit. Now I'm sure you heard the shaky cams used a lot in this movie, and that's the one thing I really didn't like that much about it. I'm not a huge fan of shaky cam. I didn't like it in Safe House, and I really feel like one of the only directors that could really pull off shaky cam is Paul Greengrass. And in some parts, the shaky cam in the Hunger Games took away from the movie. And I think that was a bad decision to have shaky cam on Gary Ross's part, even though I do see why he used it. I think he used it in some scenes so the violence would almost seem a little less, in a way, since this is a PG-13 movie. If you're using shaky cam, it's a little easier to direct yourself away from the violence and everything. So I can see why he used it. But still, I don't think it was the best fit for this movie. In some of the action sequences during the Hunger Games, even in the beginning of the movie, the shaky cam got a little bit annoying. But still, it wasn't like so bad. But I didn't really love it that much. So next up is the performances. Now, everyone knows that Jennifer Lawrence is the main character, Katniss, in this movie, and she is amazing in this role. It's just an amazing performance by her. She was great in Winter's Bone too, if you haven't seen that. But she's just so good in this movie. She fits the description of Katniss so well. She's brave. She's everything. She's great. And also, I feel my second favorite performance in the movie, if not my first, is Woody Harrelson as Haymitch. Haymitch was a character I was really looking forward to seeing on the big screen. I wanted to see how he kind of turned out. Because in the book, he's a really interesting character. And I was so excited when they casted Woody Harrelson as Haymitch, and his performance was like one of the best in the movie. I really liked it. And also, Elizabeth Banks was good. I also really loved Stanley Tucci, who's a really underrated actor in my opinion. He's a great actor, and he was really great in this movie as Caesar Flickerman. Now, there's one performance in this movie that I didn't hate, but I didn't love it either. And that's Josh Hutcherson's performance as Peeta. And I didn't, like I said, I didn't hate his performance. I just felt like all the other actors in the movie kind of felt that like they weren't acting. It was just kind of flowing on the screen. It was really fluent. They almost felt like they were in that environment. They submersed themselves in the Hunger Games and everything. But he just felt like he was acting, and though he was fine in the movie, I just didn't really buy his performance. I mean, I even liked Liam Hemsworth as Gale, even though he's not in that much of it. I even liked him more than Peeta in this movie. And I also just feel like, in general, Peeta just wasn't a great character translated to the screen. He's just a lot different in the book than he is in the movie. And I really liked his character in the book more. But still, I can't complain too much about that. Also, in this movie, I feel like everything leading up to the Hunger Games is really exciting. Like, they really get you pumped for the Hunger Games. And I don't want to say that when the Hunger Games come, they're disappointing. But it just could have been a little more grand and everything. And I really enjoyed the Hunger Games and watching that and everything. But the preparation is great for the Hunger Games, like the training. I love the reaping scene for some reason. I've heard a lot of complaints about it, but I really like that scene. And I knew this would kind of be a problem, adapting the book to the screen. But I felt like a lot of the relationships weren't that great. I didn't really love the Katniss Peeta relationship in the movie. Maybe that's because I didn't really love Josh Hutcherson's performance. But I didn't like. I liked Rue in the movie. I thought she was great, but I didn't really like the Katniss Rue relationship either because I just felt it was really rushed, and they could have spent more time on that. And also, they left out a lot of kind of like not important, but they left out some scenes from the book too. And but they also added like here and there a couple really like cool scenes that they didn't have in the book, which was a kind of a cool move by Gary Ross. There's one scene involving Haymitch that wasn't in the book, and I really enjoyed it, even though it was really just like a minute. But it was really cool. Also, just to name some more minor things I really liked about the movie, I thought the makeup was great, especially for Effie Trinket. Like I barely even recognized Elizabeth Banks under all that stuff. Um, Also, I really like the soundtrack. Like some of the music in the background, the score. I even listened to the album on iTunes, and I really enjoyed that too. So overall, yes, the movie was missing some little things here and there. There's some things that the director added that I didn't really love, but I loved most of the performances except Peeta's, played by Josh Hutcherson. I loved a lot about this movie. I thought that for an adaptation to the screen, it was really good, and I definitely recommend it. I mean, I bet most of you guys have seen it because it made 155 million its opening weekend, which is a huge amount. But yeah, I'm sure most of you guys have seen it. But if you haven't, I definitely recommend it. It's just one of those huge movies, and it lives up to the hype in my opinion. So in the end, I'm gonna give this movie an 8.5 out of 10. Yeah, like I said, I really enjoyed it, and I definitely recommend it. Okay, so in the comments below, say if you saw this movie and if you liked it, give your opinion about it. I really want to hear it and talk to you guys in the comments and everything. Also, thumbs this video up and subscribe if you haven't yet. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. All right, bye.